This is a typical work by N.C. Wyeth. He was, along with Howard Pyle, his teacher, really the greatest, I think, of the American illustrators of what is known as the golden age of illustration in America. And you can see one thing immediately about this particular form of illustration is that it involves painting in oils. So effectively this is an oil painting which was then reproduced in a book, and the book is actually in a case nearby so you can compare. This illustration is very typical of both N.C. and his teacher. Howard Pyle is a very important character in the history of American illustration because he was a great teacher. He taught over 100 pupils, including N.C., in Wilmington, Delaware. And the watchwords for Howard Pyle were about authenticity. You had to know your subject, you had to bring something new, some new feeling to the subject that you illustrated. And very importantly, you had to study. You had to study to get the accuracy required. So the detail in any painting by Howard or N.C. Wyeth is right. It's right. You know that it's right. N.C. collected historic costume, and so these uniforms would be correct for their period. What is this? Well, it's an illustration to a not very well-known story called Drums by James Boyd. And it's a story of the Revolutionary War, the War of American Independence. And John Paul Jones, of course, is the naval commander on the right here. And this is the hero of the story, Johnny Fraser. On the label here, it repeats what this is actually illustrating, and it's worth reading it out. The text is, "For a long moment, Paul Jones gazed out over the crowded shipping, down the long, narrow harbor, out to the open water. He whistled dolefully between his teeth." Now, looking at what you have here, you have a beautiful oil painting. It sparkles. All of the Wyeths are technical virtuosos. They know their medium and handle it beautifully. So there's a feeling of air and wind and sunlight, even temperature in this painting, very accurately caught. The figure of John Paul Jones, with its beautiful naval detailing on his uniform, is very precise, very solid. Remarkably, you can actually see from the set of his lips that he is indeed whistling dolefully as he looks down the harbor here. But what has caught my eye here, as well as details of the sword, which again, accurate, is the bustle behind this fishing village in the background with its great three masters up at the harbor front, the little boats going about their business in the background. It's full of life and energy and strength and color. N.C. is one of the great colorists of the American illustration tradition.